Welcome to the USA Today High School Sports Awards, presented by US Polo ASSN, with additional support from Kohl's, Wilson Sporting Goods, the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and Refill. The show starts now.
Talent will always be found. It doesn't matter where you play or where you're from. When you have talent, people will find you.
Some of the biggest names in the world of sports come together to honor the best high school athletes in the country. Alex Morgan, Katie Ledecky, Aaron Rodgers, Sue Bird, Shaquille O'Neal.
Now do you know my name? Yeah, you know, do you know my name? You know, my name is Fire, Fury, Power. My name is Legend. You know, do you know my name? Let's go. My name is Legend.
And here are your hosts, Pro Football Hall of Famer and co-host of Good Morning America, Michael Strahan, and four-time Super Bowl champion, Rob Gronkowski.
All right.
Let's go. Should we do a quick huddle?
Yeah, do a chest. Oh, no, can't do that. Give me a fist bump.
There we
go, my brother. Welcome to the USA Today High School Sports Awards, everybody. It is the only sports awards show where school spirit is king. Marching bands provide the music, and all the honorees can recite their locker combinations by heart.
Tonight, we are going to bring the noise as we celebrate the best high school athletes from coast to coast. So a swimmer in Florida can compare her record against one in Oregon, or a cross-country guy in Texas can say, "What's up, Jersey? Let's put our best times on the line." Or a cheer team in...
I'm pretty sure they know how an award show works.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I'm just totally stoked to be here.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Aren't you pretty much stoked or totally stoked no matter where you are?
Yeah, true that.
All right, that's my man. All right, so to help Gronk and I, right, we're going to highlight these amazing kids. We enlisted some of the biggest names in sports. We're talking about Aaron Rodgers, Alex Morgan, and the one and only Shaquille O'Neal. So we want you to sit back, relax, and get ready to have your mind blown by the incredible athletic performances of America's high school athletes.
Yes, but don't relax too much because we still want you hitting us up on social media. With more on that, let's toss it over to the third member of our team, Abby Labar.
Thanks, Gronk. Hey, everyone. First, I want to give a shout out to the US Polo ASSN. They gave me this sweet hat, and I think all you honorees out there got one too, right? But more than that, they stepped up in a big way as our first ever national presenting sponsor. They saw the vision of recognizing high school athletes on a national stage and stepped forward in support. Without them supporting this award show, we couldn't do this, and well, we wouldn't have a fun trucker hat either. So snap a photo of your new hat or any of the items from your commemorative honoree gift box. We'd also love to see highlights from your amazing season. Be part of the conversation when you share on Instagram or Twitter with hashtag USA Today HSSA and hashtag US Polo ASSN.
Thanks, Abby. We'll be checking in with you throughout the show as we celebrate these incredible athletes. So Gronk, question, where do we start? Do we kick things off with a heavy hitter sport like football, which we know a lot about, or do we show some early love to one of the less high profile but equally important sports like track and field?
Oh man, that's a great question. We don't want to play favorites though. All these kids work just as hard. Why don't we start with all of them at the same time?
I love this guy. See, that's you always thinking, man. He's always thinking, because it doesn't matter what sport you're into. When an incredible play happens, fans are on their feet. So here are your jaw-dropping finalists for the play of the year.
The Play of the Year recognizes some of the most impressive plays for the 2020-2021 school year as submitted by fans. Here are your finalists. The first is for Mississippi Biggersville High School boys basketball team featuring Cam Smith.
With the final seconds ticking down for Biggersville High School, Brooks Brand made a leaping save at the baseline. Cam Smith buried a three-point shot at the buzzer to give his team a wild 47-46 victory over Ingomar for Mississippi's Class 1A boys basketball state championship. Considering Ingomar had beat the buzzer on the prior possession, only to have its celebration halted by the officials putting 3 seconds back on the clock, this was without a doubt one of the more incredible finishes to a high school basketball game in Mississippi State history.
Next, we have the Texas Bushland High School volleyball team featuring Kinley Rudder.
Seeking match point for Texas's Class 3A state volleyball championship, sophomore Logan Culpepper fed senior Kinley Rudder for the clinching point and a 3-set victory over Goliad. The dominant Lady Falcons finished 31-2 overall and on a 20-game win streak.
And finally, the Texas Denton Ryan High School football team featuring Jatavion Sanders.
Denton Ryan quarterback Seth Hennigan goes deep for Jatavion Sanders, who makes an unbelievable one-handed catch for a touchdown during the Texas 5A Division I state game. The Raiders cruised past Cedar Park for their first state title in 18 years.
And the Play of the Year award goes to Biggersville High School boys basketball team.
Don't get me wrong, I love me some baseball and softball, but those sports do have some pretty quirky rules. Like the fields don't have the same dimensions, there is no clock, and it's the defense that has the ball the whole time, not the offense. What's up with that? To help us celebrate the best from the diamond, we hear from baseball legend and Hall of Famer, Chipper Jones.
Players are bigger, they're faster, they're stronger, they're doing things. It amazes me. I've got season tickets at the Brave Stadium, and I'm 3 or 4 rows behind the on-deck circle, and it amazes me how fast the game is played. And I look at my dad or my wife, whoever's sitting next to me, and I'm like, was it that fast when I was playing? You know, and they're like, you know, we played at a pretty fast level. But that's baseball. You're away from it for 7, 8, 9 years, and then you come back, and it just amazes you. You see guys throwing 100 miles an hour now like it's nothing. Not only that, when I saw 100 miles an hour back when I played, it was straight as a string. Now the ball is moving this much. You know, it's tailing, it's cutting, and it really amazes me that some of the players nowadays are still able to hit 300. They're still able to hit 40 homers. They're still able to drive in 100 runs, basically seeing 100 miles an hour every single night. And that's how much the game has advanced in such a short time. But the skill set it takes to play Major League Baseball astounds even me, and I played it for 19 years.
The top baseball players from each state and your national honorees are Baseball Scouts saw the 2021 class of baseball stars as talent-rich, with more potential excitement than the college players, claiming it to be one of the best high school hitting classes in years. And the finalists for the nation's best high school baseball player are Jackson Jobe from Oklahoma City,
In his senior year, shortstop Jackson Jobe turned into a highly recruited pitcher and became the number 3 overall pick for the Detroit Tigers.
Jordan Lawler from Dallas, Texas.
Jordan Lawler, a shortstop from the Dallas metro area, was drafted number 6 overall by the Diamondbacks.
And Khalil Watson from Wake Forest, North Carolina.
A two-sport star and shortstop Khalil Watson signed with NC State, but was a Marlins first-round draft pick.
And the baseball player of the year is Jordan Lawler of Texas.
The eyes of Texas and recruiters from around the country were on Jordan Lawler this season, and he did not disappoint. The Vanderbilt signee will likely never enroll there, instead preparing to make an impact as an Arizona Diamondback. In his senior year, the Dallas Jesuit grad hit .412 and swept all 32 bases that he attempted to steal. His first home run of the year was a walk-off shot. Considered a 5-tool player and the number 3 overall draft prospect by MLB.com, Lawler has the potential to be a major league star.
Jordan Lawler, your baseball player of the year. Now, let's head to the girls' dugout and recognize the best softball players in the country. Here are the honorees for Softball Player of the Year. These ladies have loaded the bases, flashed the leather, stolen bases, delivered the home runs, and ultimately taken home championships in their quest to shine on the diamond. They bring it on both offense and defense and have dedicated themselves for the love of the game. And the finalists for the Softball Player of the Year are from Papillion, Nebraska, Jordan Ball.
Number 1 ranked recruit Jordan Ball struck out 338 batters and was a perfect 29-0 in the circle.
From Crowley, Louisiana, Macy Bergeron.
A top recruit in the 2022 class, Macy Bergeron hit a nation-leading 30 home runs and will compete for LSU when she graduates.
And from Lakewood Ranch, Florida, Cassidy McClellan.
Sophomore Cassidy McClellan displayed a rare combination of speed and power and earned the Player of the Year title in Florida's highest classification.
And the Softball Player of the Year is Nebraska's Jordan Ball.
Jordan Ball, the top-ranked prospect in the class of 2021, left her mark on Nebraska softball. The Oklahoma Sooners recruit went 29-0 during her senior year and had the 4th lowest ERA in Nebraska high school softball history. In her 4-year career for Papillion La Vista, she finished with a 95-3 record and struck out 978 batters. She was a threat at the plate as well, hitting .510 this season.
Jordan Ball, your Softball Player of the Year. Here are your honorees, the best girls track and field athletes from each state. After a year off from official competition, track and field athletes across the country showed they had some pent-up energy and were ready to be collecting medals and breaking records once again. These ladies did just that. And the finalists for the nation's best girls track and field athlete are from Katy, Texas, Amelia Flint.
No one was throwing like Amelia Flint this year, who came away with 2 state golds in the discus and shot put.
From Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Adaya Fry.
Florida's Miss Track and Field, Adaya Fry, owns the nation's best prep times in the 55 hurdles and earned 3 gold medals at the state meet.
And from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Roshni Walker.
Junior Roshni Walker was crowned Alabama's heptathlon champion after earning 3 gold medals and placing top 6 in all but one event.
And the nation's girls track and field athlete of the year is Florida's Adaya Fry.
Adaya Fry broke multiple records during a remarkable senior year. She started in January when she won the 55-meter hurdles at the Virginia Showcase in a record time of 7.81 seconds, making her the best under-20 hurdler in the world. She showed her dominance the rest of the year, taking first place in the 100-meter hurdles and the long jump at every outdoor meet she competed in, including the state championship finale. She ended her final year in high school as the nation's #1 ranked 100-meter hurdler and will compete next for the University of Georgia.
Adaya Fry, the girls' track and field athlete of the year. And now for the guys. Here are the honorees for top boys track and field athletes from each state. High school athletes took it upon themselves to stay healthy and ready for the time when the world would reopen for races, hurdling, throwing, and jumping. These athletes were not only ready to compete, but were ready to win, all while setting new standards for those to follow next year. And the finalists for the nation's best boys track and field athlete are Aaron Bell from Jacksonville, Florida.
Aaron Bell secured the state's fastest sprint times across all 4 classifications at state and claimed gold in 2 events at state.
Cameron Garrett from Indianapolis, Indiana.
A qualifier for the Olympic trials, Cameron Garrett holds the #1 high jump performance in the country.
And from Boulder, Colorado, Gavin Schur.
In the 200-meter indoor, Gavin Schur recorded the nation's 4th best time in high school history.
And the nation's boys track and field athlete of the year is Indiana's Cameron Garrett.
Cameron Garrett ended his indoor season on a spectacular note. He became the Adidas Indoor National Champion when he cleared 7 feet 2.5 inches and tied for the U.S. #12 all-time. But he wasn't done. Later in the season, the Kansas State commit secured his title as the nation's top jumper in high school and second in the world among under-20s when he cleared 7 feet 3 inches. But his goal was not just the state or national prep title, but a chance to compete in the Olympic trials, which he did in June.
Cameron Garrett, the boys track and field athlete of the year.
Bye. This will be our years, long time to come. And I won't forget the way you said, darling, I love you. You gave me faith to go on. Now we're there.
Have a great first day, Dad.
Welcome back, everybody. Michael Strahan alongside Rob Gronkowski as we celebrate the best in high school athletes from the last year.
How lucky am I, man, getting to talk about all these great athletes and teams while standing next to the only dude on the planet who is both in the Pro Football Hall of Fame and a host of Good Morning America. Talk about doing it right as an athlete, Michael.
Hey, you know what, man? I follow you on social media, and I think you're carving your face into the Mount Rushmore of guys with ridiculously amazing careers. And the crazy thing is, you're not even done playing yet.
But we're not the only ones excited to give these kids their shot in the national spotlight. Joining us from the Kohl's red carpet are 2 people with plenty of experience on center stage. Please welcome from ESPN, Charly, Arnolt.
And Grammy-winning multi-platinum recording artist, DJ Khaled.
Hey, thanks, guys. What a fantastic intro. Thank you so much. We're here on the Kohl's red carpet to celebrate you, the best high school athletes in the entire country. Now, I already know this is huge for me. DJ Khaled, you are a music legend. You're a social media icon, the big leagues, if you will. So also big for you, but today, really, we both know it is all about the student athletes. So how excited are we?
Man, I'm very excited. We vibing. Music can inspire athletes, but athletes also inspire music. Now, you know what I'm saying. Michael Jordan is a big inspiration for me, but I'm seeing and hearing all about the amazing things the kids have done. It's just so powerful. And today it's our turn to give some fan love back to them. In my own words, all you do is win, 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 no matter what. You feel me?
I feel like I've heard those words a few times before.
Oh,
Have
yeah.
I? Am I imagining things?
No. You're actually absolutely right.
You know what? That's a mantra I live by. So
Yes.
thank you. Winning is absolutely right. And man, what a year it has been for these players. So now it is their time to shine. And What do you say? Maybe we get some of them out here on this red carpet we rolled out in their honor.
Let's do it.
We have our awards and our big name stars. All we're missing is hearing from the kids themselves.
Man, that's beautiful. Don't worry. You know what I'm saying? Charlie, I got this covered. You know, the kids is right here. Big up to all the kids and all the students. Congratulations. God bless y'all. You're doing it big. You feel me?
And I think we're referring to them. I think it's our Khaled crew.
Well, you know.
What's up, guys?
Then that's the winning crew. Put your hands up, guys. Everybody good? Y'all having a good time? Bless up, bless up. You know what I'm saying? We doing it big. Charlie, check this out. You know, we're going to pick out some recruits, all-stars, and even, you know, the people that's been grinding real hard, working real hard, but still reach to the top of their game, and the kids are crushing it.
Crushing it, I think, is an understatement. So first up, Khaled, we have standout wrestler. He's Bradley Woodall out of Tennessee. So Bradley, I'm curious, what is your favorite memory from this past season?
My favorite memory from this past season was wrestling in state duels. I was actually down in the match, and I got to take down the pin the kid and secure the win for the team.
Okay, I see you as a wrestler. You know I used to work for WWE for almost 5 years. All right, I see you, Bradley. That's amazing. Well, I'm so happy to hear you had a great senior year. And also, we know that you will do nothing less, but we hope that you excel at the next level. So good luck, Bradley. All right, so we're going to hear from more of the Khaled crew later. These guys are going to be a big part of our show, and guess what? You can be too. Be sure to post a photo on Instagram or Twitter, and if you receive that exclusive bag courtesy of Kohl's, we want to see that too, because get this, you have a chance to win a gift package from our hosts and a back-to-school shopping spree. We all love a good shopping spree, right?
We love that.
This one is provided by Kohl's, so don't forget to use the hashtag USA Today, HSSA.
That's right, but right now, let's kick it back to two of my favorite ballers who unfortunately never played for my Dolphins. You know what I'm saying?
But they're all right. They're all right.
No, we the best.
Well, yeah, we the best.
That's right.
What about them, though?
No, we the best. We the best.
I got it. Roger that.
Thank you, DJ Khaled. Amazing stuff with those kids. And we're going to check back in with you guys a little later in the show. And right now, I have to ask Gronk a question. As someone who scored a ton of touchdowns, can you give me your best spike?
I thought you never ask.
But no, wait. No, not that one. Not that one. Come on. That one. Yeah. Because you know what? I know someone whose spikes are so amazing, they put her on a pedestal, literally. Before we hand out our volleyball awards, let's hear from three-time Olympic beach volleyball champion Carrie Walsh Jennings.
What it's like to represent the United States on the Olympic stage is like truly undescribable. It is everything that brings tear to your eyes, a smile to your face, pride in your heart. The best thing about the Olympics is that it's a unifier. And for me, I am such a proud American. I'm literally living the American dream. And when I go and compete, whenever I have the USA flag on my heart, I think about everyone at home. I think about all of our service members. I think about how rad our country is, the values we're founded on. And I really try to compete with all of my heart with the American spirit on full blast. So representing my great country has been, aside from being a mama, the greatest honor of my life. It makes me greedy. I want to do it for my whole life. But it's something that all of you guys who have Olympic aspirations, I say go for it, because there's nothing like representing your country and fighting for gold.
Now for the awards in volleyball. Here are your honorees, the best high school volleyball players from each state. Elite high school volleyball players across the country represent the future of the sport, and what they can do in the sport is nothing short of amazing. They are future NCAA champions and gold medalists who will become household names in the next few years. And the finalists for the nation's best volleyball players are Jacqueline Boney from Alpharetta, Georgia.
Jacqueline Boney was the most efficient hitter in the nation with an 80.6 kill percentage.
Allie Horning from Clarksville, Indiana.
Allie Horning is an All-American out of Indiana who stuffed the stat sheet this season with 446 kills and 368 digs.
And Lindsey Krause from Omaha, Nebraska.
Lindsey Krause owned Nebraska's best hitting percentage, while leading Scott Catholic to a state record-tying 6th consecutive state title.
And the nation's volleyball player of the year is Georgia's Jacqueline Boney.
No hitter in the nation attacked the net quite like Jackie Boney did this season. The star outside hitter and middle blocker racked up 691 total kills, with an efficiency percentage of 80.6%. That was far and away the best in the country. She added 147 digs and 129 blocks on the year, and left high school with Georgia State records for single-match blocks and kills. An honor roll student at St. Francis High School, Boney will continue her volleyball career with the Michigan Wolverines.
Jacqueline Boney, the volleyball player of the year.
I know I'm preaching to the choir here when I say sports are one of humankind's greatest inventions. They teach valuable lessons, they promote fitness and friendships, and they are fun, plain and simple. They are really, really fun. But not everyone gets a chance to play sports. Sometimes through no fault of their own, people are left out of these wonderful games and competitions. Why? Because other people perceive them as different. For more than half a century, the Special Olympics have asked us to overcome our fear of difference and replace it with the power of inclusion. Many high schools across the country have accepted this challenge. They choose to include their student athletes with intellectual disabilities as a vital part of their schools, teams, and communities. This has led to positive outcomes for everyone involved. Thanks to the folks at Special Olympics, we are proud to share the stories and accomplishments of some truly extraordinary athletes, stars of the inclusion revolution.
Unified sports opens up a lot of doors for people, and I will say for people with and without intellectual disabilities. People get to see them for their abilities, not what they can't do, but what they can do.
When Jake was a baby, he was sick a lot. He was always getting ear infections or respiratory infections, and so he missed a lot of the milestones as he was developing. We were also told that he had hypotonia, which is low muscle tone. When he was 5, we did a muscle biopsy and they diagnosed him with mitochondrial myopathy, which is a neuromuscular disease. Other diagnoses and disorders were identified: speech apraxia, which is a communication disorder, as well as his intellectual disability. There were periods of time where we were seeing different specialists and doctors who said he's never going to be able to walk, he's not going to jump, he's not going to be able to ride a bike, he won't have very limited speech and people aren't going to be able to understand what he's saying. And none of that is true today. He can do all of those things.
What do you love about basketball?
Cheer fans.
Cheering your friends on? Yeah, that is a lot of fun part. I think you also like these
hoops.
He's getting excited about sports, and that's one of the things is, you know, a parent of a child with intellectual disability, you're always, I want to say the phrase, you mourn the things that you're not going to get to do, but you know, when they're younger, you don't expect your child to be part of a team. We got to high school and they had the unified teams, and it changed everything.
We have over 8,000 schools nationwide in 49 states. Natick High School is just the epitome of a unified champion school. We intentionally promote social inclusion.
He was so excited and wanted to do unified basketball, and he loved it so much he wanted to do another sport, and there was no other fall sport, so he got to do junior varsity indoor track. And then COVID happened and he hurt his knee.
I think when he tore his ACL, that was a very difficult experience for us. It happened in March of 2020, right before things shut down. It took a couple months till things opened up and we were able to get that MRI to prove that yes, he did tear his ACL. Even going into surgery, we're not sure that Jake really understood what it meant, that, you know, he was gonna have to go through this surgery and then learn to walk again and go through all of the 10 months of PT that he did. We still are working on conditioning and strengthening the knee. He still has to do exercises. We're at an every other night situation now, but it's something we're gonna have to continue for the next several years.
After lots of physical therapy, by the time the last game came along, he had the ability to shoot the ball. He just couldn't really move side to side. So I brought the idea up to his parents, saying like, hey, what if we just stuck Jake here at the block right near the hoop that he's shooting at?
And in the last game, he was able to go onto the court and shoot a basket for us. And everyone in the stands was just cheering super loud for him, just as loud as he likes to cheer for us.
And the execution couldn't have worked out better. It was like a Disney movie. First pass, he made a great catch. First shot, nothing but net. We were able to get him off the court, injury-free. That was one of the best moments of the season.
And when he had his ACL injury, we didn't know, what his track season was going to look like and what he was going to be able to handle. And then kind of seeing where he progressed throughout the season from start to finish, and even just his, like what he thought he could handle was really impressive.
So we have a family motto, and that's, why do we fall down? To learn to pick ourselves back up. And it's one of the things is, so you ask him, Jake, why do you fall down? To pick myself back up, to get back up, as he'll tell you. Unified track this year, even with his brace on, he fell. And it's just, you could see him with the brace now, and after the injury, his confidence isn't quite there. And it's hard, but he knows, I gotta get back up. And so he gets back up and he finished the race.
Everybody's here to recognize you, Jake, for your hard work in coming back from such a devastating injury of tearing your ACL. You worked hard on the basketball court, you worked hard in physical therapy, you worked hard on the track, and I was lucky enough to see how hard you worked in the classroom. There was a USA Today High School Sports Award, and you have won the award. Special Olympics Athlete of the Year, congratulations. Congratulations, buddy.
Jake, I'm so happy for you. You have done so much hard work and you deserve this award.
I love you, buddy, and I wish you all the best.
Jake Palatna Savage, congratulations, brother.
Congratulations, Jake. I am so proud of you. I love you.
You are awesome, kid. I love you.
So on behalf of Special Olympics, thank you again, Jake, for who you are and for being such an amazing person.
Man, when you hear a story like that, you can't help but feel the power of sports even more. Those stories are the best. And speaking of the best, we have a lot more amazing athletes to show you from a ton of different sports. We're gonna hit the links with golf and crank out some miles running cross country. But first, we're gonna chill with some lax. And who better to bring us up to speed on the fastest growing team sport around than lacrosse legend, Paul Rabel.
I would say that my career path has definitely been a unique one, and the trajectory has changed over time. I started playing lacrosse because my neighbor gave me his backup equipment to try the game for the first time. I wasn't very good at it, and my parents made me continue on through practice. I became better, and I really pursued the game because I loved it. I fell in love with it, and I wanted to be great at it. And that matriculated over time to wanting to be the best high school player in the country, best player on my team in college, best college player in the country, same thing professionally, same thing internationally. And at some point it turned to when you are so passionate about what it is that you do, you care about the intricacies of it. Just like we care about certain stick work or shooting technique, I cared at the professional level about the business of sport. And that's what got me in tune to growing the game at a much greater capacity than it had. And a couple of chips fell in the right direction where I co-founded the Premier Lacrosse League. And in short, we're looking to do what the UFC did to MMA to lacrosse and capitalize on a new ecosystem of media and technology and showcase our players in the game and the greatest platforms and largest distribution channels in the world.
It's time to reveal the honorees in girls lacrosse, the top high school players in the nation from each state. Playing with speed, power, and determination, these agile athletes show they're not afraid to face fast-flying balls, even while other sports might offer them more protection from its sting. And the finalists for the nation's Girls Lacrosse Player of the Year are Summer Agostino from East Setauket, New York.
With 42 goals and 18 assists in just 16 games, All-American Summer Agostino earned a spot to play at Boston College.
Demma Hall from Sykesville, Maryland.
Demma Hall scored an average of more than 3 goals a game to lead her team to a state runner-up finish.
And Nina Montez from Chicago, Illinois.
Princeton signee Nina Montez is an all-state performer who led her team to the Super Sectional and scored her 100th career goal this season.
And the nation's Girls Lacrosse Player of the Year is Maryland's Demma Hall.
In a shortened 12-game season in which her team finished as the county champion and the state runner-up, Demma Hall was a force. The number 3 rated recruit in the country, Hall racked up 44 goals and 40 assists, including a massive 3 goals and 6 assists in a state semifinal victory. An All-American, the midfielder is part of Maryland's number 1 rated recruiting class.
Demma Hall, the Girls Lacrosse Player of the Year. And now for the guys' side. Here are your honorees, the top boys lacrosse players from each state. In America's fastest growing high school sport, these players have shown they can rise to the top and push their bodies past typical limits. And the finalists for the nation's Boys Lacrosse Player of the Year are Andy Demopoulos from Darien, Connecticut.
Goalie Andy Demopoulos, an All-American and Brown signee, created big saves that led Darien to the state quarterfinals.
Andrew McAdory from South Huntington, New York.
An All-American, Andrew McAdory led his team to the number 1 national ranking this season.
And Dante Trader from Owings Mills, Maryland.
A 2-sport athlete who will play lacrosse and football at Maryland, Dante Trader led his team to the state semifinals.
And the Boys Lacrosse Player of the Year is New York's Andrew McAdory.
The number 1 rated recruit in the country lived up to the hype, scoring 21 goals with 27 assists in just 12 games. This followed his sophomore season, where the Duke-bound middle finished with 23 goals and 21 assists. He was named an All-American and USA Lacrosse's National Player of the Year after leading St. Anthony's to an 11-1 overall record, the state title, and a number 1 national ranking.
Andrew McAdory, the High School Boys Lacrosse Player of the Year. Now it's time to showcase the best girls cross-country runners. The honorees are This year saw numerous state and national records go down as these speedsters used extra training time to get faster and more consistent. They came prepared this past fall and blazed through cross-country courses across the nation. And the finalists for the Girls Cross Country Athlete of the Year are Bryn Brown from Denton, Texas.
North Carolina commit Bryn Brown shattered the Class 6A girls record at the state championship.
Jenna Hutchins from Johnson City, Tennessee.
Jenna Hutchins broke multiple records her junior year and hasn't lost an outdoor race since 2019.
And Sydney Thorvaldsen from Rawlings, Wyoming.
Arkansas signee Sydney Thorvaldsen won 4 state cross-country championships and leaves Wyoming with an unparalleled preps career.
And the Girls Cross Country Athlete of the Year is Tennessee's Jenna Hutchins.
Long considered the top girls distance runner in the class of 2022, Jenna Hutchins reaffirmed those projections with a stellar junior year. Hutchins, who announced she will attend BYU after graduating, has won every outdoor race she entered since August, including the Tennessee State Meet, where she finished more than 90 seconds ahead of her nearest pursuer. Hutchins capped her fall by breaking a national record and winning the Running Lane National Championship with a time that put her on a list with only 9 other prep girls to break the 16-minute barrier in the 5,000.
Jenna Hutchins, the nation's top girls cross-country athlete. And now, on to the guys. Here are the best boys cross-country athletes from each state and the honorees. They're kicking up dirt, enduring the uneven terrain, and holding their pace on the hills. These cross-country athletes know about the physical and mental training to compete on courses across America. And the finalists for the Boys Cross Country Athlete of the Year are, from Marietta, Georgia, Kamari Miller.
Kamari Miller claimed the Class 7A Georgia State title with the course record time of 15 minutes, 29.72 seconds.
From Lehigh, Utah, Creed Thompson.
Creed Thompson, who will run for BYU, clocked his personal best and came in second at the Running Lane National Cross Country Championship.
And from Greenwood Village, Colorado, Parker Wolf.
Parker Wolf will run for the University of North Carolina after finishing first in every 5,000-meter race course he attempted this past year.
And the Boys Cross Country Athlete of the Year is Parker Wolf of Colorado.
Parker Wolf began his final high school cross-country season facing plenty of adversity. In addition to the start of the season being up in the air due to the pandemic, Wolf was also recovering from COVID-19, which he contracted late in the summer. But it all worked out. He broke the tape and a Colorado record at the state championships. Then, a month later, he was even faster at the Running Lane National Cross Country Championships, where he finished first and set a personal record.
Parker Wolf, the nation's top boys cross country athlete. It's time to reveal the most talented golfers in the game of high school golf. Here are your girls honorees from around the country. These young golfers are pushing the game to new heights and even lower scores. With new techniques, technologies, and teaching methods, they've shown they have the fortitude to put in the practice time it takes to compete consistently and the mental toughness required to handle the pressure and precision that each hole takes. And the finalists for the Girls Golf Player of the Year are Jenny Roller from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Jenny Roller captured her second straight state individual title and led her team to third in the tournament.
Emma Schimpf from Mount Pleasant, South Carolina.
Emma Schimpf won her second straight state title with a state record 11 under par, beating her competition by 5 strokes.
And Melanie Walker from Fairfax, Virginia.
Junior Melanie Walker claimed the state championship title with a 4 under par, winning by 5 strokes.
And the Girls Golf Player of the Year is Virginia's Melanie Walker.
Melanie Walker showed composure and consistency as she handled a pandemic-shortened campaign for the high school golf postseason. Perfecting a rhythm she started early in the spring, the junior golfer handled district, region, team, and open tournaments in back-to-back weeks. She eventually came away with a state title, which she won after completing 17 holes without a bogey. Walker maintained her consistency in the summer, finishing second at the U.S. Girls Junior Championship qualifier.
Melanie Walker, the nation's high school girls golf player of the year. And now from the Guys Tees, here are the best guys on the green. Your honorees for Boys Golf Player of the Year are. If you want to know some names to be looking for as up-and-comers on the PGA Tour, here's your list. These guys know that age is just a number and are ready to destroy records and make their mark on the world of golf. And the finalists for the Boys Golf Player of the Year are Luke Clanton from Plantation, Florida.
Florida State commit Luke Clanton won the regional championship and set a county record round 64.
Gordon Sargent from Mountain Brook, Alabama.
Gordon Sargent finished his preps career with both individual and team state championships and will play for Vanderbilt this fall.
And Jackson Van Paris from Southern Pines, North Carolina.
Jackson Van Paris made history when he was the first repeat champion of the AJGA Simplified Boys Championship with a 13 under par 203.
And the Boys Golf Player of the Year is Alabama's Gordon Sargent.
Gordon Sargent defended his title and claimed victory as the Alabama State Amateur Champion in June with a 17 under 267. This followed the finish of an impressive high school season, where he won both individual and team state championships. It was the second time in his prep career that Sargent, who will play for Vanderbilt this fall, was the low medalist at the state championships, matching the feat he accomplished as a freshman in 2018.
Gordon Sargent, the Boys Golf Player of the Year.
Are you guys hungry?
Yeah.
All right, let's get some apps.
Let's do it.
It's as easy as that. Let us refill for you.
There you go, guys.
Wow, that was so fast. Thank you so
Enjoy.
much.
All right, cheers, guys.
Hey, I'll be right back. Okay.
No one likes waiting in long lines or missing the big moments.
Did I miss anything? No. That was quick. I know, right? You want a beer? Yeah.
We're making it easier for you to get back to what you love without missing a single minute. Refill.
Did I miss anything?
Up next, we have the world's most popular sport. But before we go there, let's hear from one of the most badass women in the game.
She truly is a rock star, both on the field and off. She's a powerful advocate and role model for young women like my daughter. She's outspoken and passionate. Let's hear from her directly, Alex Morgan.
It was actually at 7 years old, I told my mom I wanted to be a professional soccer player. And we had like family gatherings watching the Olympics the Summer Olympics every 4 years. And I did have this dream of being an Olympian from a young age. I knew that I was going to be an Olympian when I was just probably 18 years old and watching the Beijing Olympics and seeing the women win the Olympic gold medal at 4 a.m. Or maybe it was at 3 a.m. We were having a sleepover with me and all my teammates, and I was the only one that got up before the game and watched the entire game. And I was like, in 2012, I want to be there on that field winning that gold medal with these teammates. And when I finally did in 2012, it's still hard to top that moment, stepping on the podium with my teammates, being able to sing the national anthem and having so much pride for our country that we represented so proudly. It's really hard to beat that.
Here are the soccer players who are at the top of their game. Your honorees for Female Soccer Player of the Year are: when these ladies step onto the field, it's game on. They pass at breathtaking speeds with unbelievable accuracy, clean tackle a ball from out of nowhere, and run a 100-yard field for hours. And the finalists for the nation's Girls Soccer Player of the Year: Tori Della Peruta from Cumming, Georgia.
North Carolina commit Tori Della Peruta broke her school's scoring record with 54 goals in 20 games, including the game winner in the state championship game.
Taylor Huff from Mansfield, Ohio.
The winner of Ohio Miss Soccer scored 34 goals and had 27 assists this season and will play next for the University of Tennessee.
And Olivia Juarez from Portland, Oregon.
One of the best goalkeepers in the country, Olivia Juarez didn't allow a goal all season, helping her team to its third straight state title.
And the nation's Girls Soccer Player of the Year is Georgia's Tori Della Peruta.
When the season began, Tori Della Peruta had a goal for herself, score 50 goals. For some, that may have seemed lofty for the junior who hadn't played for the West Forsyth soccer team in her freshman or sophomore year. But in her first year of high school soccer, not only did she hit her goal, but she exceeded it. Della Peruta, who has been verbally pledged to the women's collegiate soccer powerhouse UNC Chapel Hill since her freshman year, scored a school record 54 goals in 20 games, including the game-winning goal for West Foresight's first ever state championship in girls soccer.
Tori Della Peruta, the Girls Soccer Player of the Year. And the honorees for the Boys Soccer Player of the Year, the best players from each state. Soccer is the world's most popular game in numbers of participants and spectators, and these rising stars are among the names who will be bringing fans to their feet when they step on the pitch. And the finalists for the nation's Boys Soccer Player of the Year. Bryce Bono from Keller, Texas.
1 year after suffering a fractured tibia, Notre Dame signee Bryce Bono scored 18 goals and registered 19 assists.
Scott Testori from Madison, Connecticut.
UConn signee Scott Testori scored 28 goals this season and was named the United States Coaches National Player of the Year.
And Guy Vivaldini from Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Guy Vivaldini was the top threat on a perennial state champion team. He ended his Preps career with 41 goals and will play next for North Carolina.
And the Boys Soccer Player of the Year is Scott Testori from Madison, Connecticut.
Scott Testori became the first Connecticut product to ever win the United States Coaches National Player of the Year award, earning the title after a 2020 season in which he scored 28 goals for an undefeated hand team. The All-American will go down as one of the state's most decorated soccer players, scoring a program best 86 goals, recording 32 assists, and winning 3 state titles. He'll play at UConn next year.
Scott Testori, the Boys Soccer Player of the Year.
We've seen some of the nation's most elite athletes, but now we're going to change things up a bit. We know one of the reasons these athletes excel because of the support of the coaches who support them.
Who was your favorite coach in high school, Michael? And what was their best piece of advice?
J.W. Harper, who told me that talent only gets you so far, hard work is what carries you over the finish line, so always work hard. And what about you? Best coach, best piece of advice?
He was actually my elementary school gym teacher, and he was also my JV football coach. And he engraved in me from the very beginning in elementary school that there is no I in team. And also, listen to this, he told me if my phone rings and Tom Brady is on the line, you take the call.
Wait, your high school coach told you to take Brady's call years before you played with Brady?
Yes, I told you, that's just how great of a coach he was.
God, that's pretty great. I'm gonna try to wrap my head around that one. But, let's hear your thoughts on what makes a great coach.
A good coach adapts.
A good coach is someone that can motivate you to do things that your mind doesn't even think you can do.
A good coach is the most demanding one.
Someone that brings the best out of you.
A good coach is one who believes in you more than you believe in yourself sometimes.
A good coach is consistent.
Somebody who's going to do everything in their power to put their players in the best position to succeed.
Helps you to master the fundamentals and then takes you to level on level and level up because you're ready.
A good coach is essential for the growth of a player of any sport.
That realizes everybody's individual, everybody's different, everybody learns differently, has different issues, different weaknesses, different strengths.
Gives everyone a fair shot. That's so important these days. Is you might not have the most talented set of athletes, but if you have athletes who want to go to battle for you, I think that's very special.
Good coaches understand that their role is not just to coach, but to teach, to inspire, and motivate an athlete.
And now, let's meet some of the best coaches in the country. The finalists for the Coach of the Year are Billy Jack Bowen, the baseball coach at Silo High School in Durant, Oklahoma.
Billy Jack Bowen became the winningest high school baseball coach in history this spring when he claimed the 2,123rd victory of his 36-year career. Bowen, who has won 20 state titles, including one this season, passed another Oklahoma legend, Gladys Eddie Collins.
Pamela McDonald, the boys soccer coach at Doral Academy in Doral, Florida.
The head boys soccer coach at Doral Academy, Pamela McDonald, led her team to its first state title and made history in the process.
And Matt Price, the cross-country coach at Dallas Center Grimes High School in Grimes, Iowa, and the track and field coach at Waukee High School in Waukee, Iowa.
Matt Price showed his coaching prowess in the fall when he led the Dallas Center Grimes boys cross-country team to its second straight Class 3A title, and then followed that up in the spring, leading the Waukee girls track and field team to a fifth straight Class 4A track title.
And the National Coach of the Year is Florida's Pamela McDonald.
Pamela McDonald made history in April when she became the first woman to coach a boys soccer team to a Florida High School Athletic Association state title. McDonald has seen plenty of success on the pitch. A 47-year-old Glasgow native, McDonald previously played for the Scottish national team in World Cup qualifiers. Still, she calls Doral Academy's 2-1 state title game victory over Niceville one of her proudest moments. The victory garnered national attention for McDonald, who just finished her 13th season as Doral's boys coach. She originally came to the school to coach the girls team, a position she held for 4 seasons. But Doral's state championship is no surprise to those who pay close attention to Florida high school soccer, as McDonald has built the school into a powerhouse program and an annual state contender. This season, it finally cleared that state championship hurdle, going 11-1-3 in Florida's shortened season.
Pamela McDonald, the Coach of the Year.
Congratulations, Coach. I love hearing about these dedicated leaders. You know, in high school, I played basketball, soccer, and ran cross country. So my coaches were a big part of my passion for sports. What about you? Is there a role model or coach who goes above and beyond the call of duty to push you to new heights? We want to hear about it. Post your shout outs to beloved coaches on Instagram or Twitter and use the hashtag USA Today HSSA. We'll pick one of these great coaches to send a special autographed gift package from one of our featured guests on the show. See more of these great coaches and role models from around the country and follow the conversation on the official High School Sports Award website at sportsawards.usatoday.com. And now it's time to cool things down and celebrate those talented souls who put the biscuit in the basket with a little sauce and go top shelf, because that's where Mama keeps the cookies. That's right, we're talking Hockey Awards. Here to tell us about his role model is Hall of Famer Martin St. Louis.
Yeah, I mean, for me, in terms of role model, I gotta go back to my roots. I think my mom and dad instilled so many values that allowed me not just to be a good athlete, but I think a good human. And I think there's not many great athletes that are not great people. And so for me, I owe that to my mom and dad, to seeing my dad working 2 jobs, his work ethic, and seeing my mom just holding the fort down, and the way she took care of everyone around her. For me, they were a true inspiration and a big reason why I became the athlete and the human that I am today, I feel.
And now, let's meet the next generation of potential hockey legends, presented by Logistics Plus. These elite players are working all year long to make sure that when they lace up their skates, they've got what it takes to face off and win. And the finalists for the top Hockey Player of the Year are Brody Lamb from Casson, Minnesota.
This summer, he was drafted by the Rangers and may play in the U.S. Hockey League next year.
Leighton Stenman from Bloomfield Hills, Michigan.
Defenseman Leighton Stenman took the storied Cranbrook Kingswood team to their 18th state championship and earned tournament MVP honors.
And Brady Welsh from Fond du Lac, Wisconsin.
The State Player of the Year and an All-State selection for the 3rd year in a row, Welch led his team to a 2nd straight state championship and will play in the North American Hockey League next year.
And the nation's high school hockey player of the year is Minnesota's Brody Lamb.
Brody Lamb used an explosive shot to rack up 52 goals on the year and 87 total points, more than any other player in the state. Lamb led the Wildcats to their first state tournament and state championship in school history. He's committed to play for the University of Minnesota in 2 seasons. And after being drafted by the New York Rangers in the 4th round of the NHL draft, he's expected to forego his senior season of high school to play in the United States Hockey League next year.
Brody Lamb, the Hockey Player of the Year.
Okay, everyone, it's confession time. For as long as I can remember, I've always wanted to be able to do a backflip. And I'm not talking about in a pool. I'm talking about just walking into the middle of the room and boom, stick the landing and walk off. Now, I know a lot of y'all are out there thinking, backflip? That's easy, I do them in my sleep. Yeah, well, I do them in my sleep too. It's called dreaming. It's when I'm awake that it's physically impossible. Right now, we are going to celebrate some of the all-time gymnasts out there who can't imagine the backflip-less world I live in. But first, let's hear from Laurie Hernandez, one of Team USA's Final 5 Golden Girls from the Rio Olympics.
A really strong bond and memory that I remember from one of my competitions was that at the Olympics, I remember competing on balance beam and noticing that it was way too quiet. And so for individual finals, I remember asking the girls if they would cheer and make sure that it was loud so it didn't get uncomfortable and awkward. And they cheered as loud as possible. And so when I was up there, all I could hear was them and their support. It meant a lot to my performance and how I felt when I was on the equipment, because even though gymnastics is a team sport, when you're on the equipment, it is just you by yourself. And sometimes that can feel really nerve-wracking and unsteady. And so to hear your support system cheering you on and giving you a solid foundation to work with, it makes things a lot easier.
From one Olympic medalist to the rising stars who may be future gymnasts on the worldwide podium, your honorees for Gymnastics Athlete of the Year. They dazzled with amazing floor performances, balanced gracefully on the beams, and stuck some amazing landings. And the finalists for the Gymnastics Athlete of the Year are Addie Gallen from Whitefish Bay, Wisconsin.
Addie Gallen is a 3-time all-around state champion and has 10 career state titles.
Lizzie Moorer from Grand Ledge, Michigan.
Lizzie Moorer won 3 out of 4 events en route to an all-around Division I state title.
And Gracie Weaver from Altoona, Pennsylvania.
Gracie Weaver, a level 10 gymnast, took the Diamond Division all-around title at the Pennsylvania Classic Championship.
And the 2021 Gymnastics Athlete of the Year is Wisconsin's Addie Gallen.
Addie Gallen solidified her spot as one of the great prep gymnasts in Wisconsin history when she captured 3 more individual state titles and led her team to a crown at the WIAA Division II State Championship. Gallen won the all-around, uneven bars, and vault, setting state championship scoring records on bars and vault. Gallen's performance helped the Blue Dukes win the team competition with the highest score in any division. In 4 years, she won 10 individual gold medals, which ties the all-time state record.
Addie Gallen, the Gymnastics Athlete of the Year.
Hey everybody, Charly, Arnolt, DJ Khaled back here on the Kohl's Red Carpet, having a great time getting to know some of our honorees from across the country.
Man, it's unbelievable how talented these kids are, especially considering the year. You know, it's been tough, you know what I'm saying, hard times, but we overcome it. Bless up.
Absolutely. If you can get through this past year, I really think you can get through pretty much anything, right? So this is very true. We have got softball phenom now, Taryn Ritz here from the state of Oklahoma. So Taryn, tell me, after losing an entire season to COVID, it was really unfortunate. What was it like to finally get back out there on the field?
It's been great getting back to play on the field. It was a really big hardship after losing a season, but through quarantine, we all as a team worked on our craft and worked on whatever we needed to work on. And when we got to the fall to play again, we got really far and we got exactly what we were wanting.
I'm sure being back in person with all of your teammates too must have felt amazing. All right, well, we love to hear that. So great stuff. And, it is. You love to hear it. We've all missed our friends. We've missed, living our normal lives. So good to hear.
Taryn, you're doing such an amazing job. We're happy for all y'all athletes who got back there with their passion this year, like Presley Miles. You know what I'm saying? Presley in Alabama, across the country, running the year, and she was so happy to be back on the trail, and that she ran herself all the way and accepted.
Okay.
Yeah, no, she went hard from Duke University. Presley, you gotta be excited about that.
I'm bursting with excitement at this amazing opportunity I've been blessed with. After their recent success as ACC track and field champions on the women's side, I'm fully confident that the success will continue in the future. I'm stoked to run with a group of bold and talented women that are best friends. With the amazing coaching staff and beautiful facilities, what is there not to be excited about?
That's right, that's big.
Oh, I have a question for you. What's the furthest you've ever run at one time? How many miles?
I've run 13.1. I ran a half marathon.
Okay.
Hold on, you mean straight through with no
Straight
stopping?
through.
13 miles with no stopping.
Should we maybe, Khaled, should we maybe try to do that after the red carpet's over?
You know what? What I learned is certain people are great at certain things.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'll stick to this.
Okay. All right. I'm okay with that. All right, well, congratulations to you, Duke University. Very, very honored to have you, I'm sure. So best of luck to you. All right, well, speaking of next level, let's hear from our Arizona volleyball superstar. Everyone, I just want to make it very clear, I was a bit of a volleyball superstar back in the day.
Okay.
Not quite like this one. This is Jordan Middleton. So, Jordan, girl, you are killing it. Look, volleyball is my sport, so I'm so excited to talk to you. You are one of only 3 juniors to play for the U.S. women's national team. So, what was that like?
It was an unforgettable experience. It was really good working with a bunch of athletes on different levels of talent and working with higher level coaches and getting to know how they train and working with them.
Pretty amazing.
That's big. So Jordan, I know firsthand that sometimes the biggest motivation comes from your squad. You know what I'm saying? Who are some of your role models in your life?
Definitely my parents and grandparents, along with my coaches. My family, they've been my #1 fan ever since I started playing. And my coaches always taught me to stay humble and just motivated me to be the best that I could be.
All right, well, the girl loves her family. Hey, I think that's a major key right there. What do you say?
Family is everything. That's
Everything.
a major key, for real.
Everything. Well, that's amazing stuff, Jordan. So let's check out our next set of awards. And after years of covering the WWE, I know this next group does it a little bit different, but it's still one that is near and dear to my heart. So now it is time for the country's best wrestlers.
Here are your honorees, the top girls wrestlers from each participating state. These athletes have shown they're not only tough physically, but they're game changers who are setting new records as they lay the foundation for budding programs across the country. And the finalists for the High School Girls Wrestler of the Year are Olivia Brown from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma.
The nation's top wrestler at 200 pounds, Olivia Brown won a state championship and boasts an undefeated season.
Savannah Cosme from Littleton, Colorado.
Ranked in the top 5 nationally, Savannah Cosme finished 20-0 this season and took home an individual and team state championship in 2021.
And Destiny Rodriguez from West Linn, Oregon.
Destiny Rodriguez is a top 5 wrestler nationally in her weight class and won her 2nd state title as a sophomore.
And the nation's 2021 Girls Wrestling Athlete of the Year is Oklahoma's Olivia Brown.
Olivia Brown is ranked as the top female wrestler in the country in her weight class, according to USA Wrestling, and made history during her high school career. In 2021, she wrestled a perfect season en route to a state championship. She is signed to wrestle in college with Grandview University, becoming one of the first 2 female wrestlers in Broken Arrow High School history to sign to wrestle in college.
Olivia Brown, the Girls Wrestler of the Year. Here are your honorees for Boys Wrestler of the Year, the best from each state. There's nowhere to hide when you're on the mat. No teammates can come help you. No coach can call a timeout to draw up new strategies. These athletes have shown they have the physical and inner strength to be great. And the finalists for the nation's High School Wrestler of the Year are, from Fort Dodge, Iowa, Drake Ayala.
Iowa signee Drake Ayala won 3 state titles in 4 finals appearances and finished his career with just 3 losses.
From Davison, Michigan, Alex Facundo.
Alex Facundo, a Penn State signee, became the 30th wrestler in Michigan history to win 4 consecutive state championships.
And from Lakewood, Ohio, Patty Gallagher.
The top-ranked 160-pound wrestler in the country, Patty Gallagher won his 2nd state title this season and will be going to the mat for Ohio State.
And the 2021 Boys Wrestling Athlete of the Year is Iowa's Drake Ayala.
With his 3rd state championship in 4 appearances and 2 national titles, Drake Ayala cemented his spot at the table as one of the best to ever do it in Iowa. He was named the most outstanding wrestler of the Junior Freestyle National Duels, and his results show why. He went 7-0, 7 technical falls, and an overall scoring advantage of 77-5 at 126 pounds. He is the first wrestler from Fort Dodge to ever be ranked nationally, and became one of the most sought-after recruits in the nation, but will stay close to home, wrestling next for Iowa.
Drake Ayala, the nation's High School Wrestler of the Year.
So Gronk, can you dunk?
Dunking is cool, so of course I can dunk. Can you dunk?
What can I dunk? My mama was a basketball coach. You know what? I was dunking as soon as I was walking.
Oh yeah. Well, when I was born, my mom said the first time she saw me, I looked like this.
I'll be honest with you, if anybody else told me that, I think it was weird, but coming from you, it kind of makes sense, to be honest with you. But I actually totally believe you. But no matter how good of a pair of dunkers that we think we are, we got nothing on our next guest. He is a certified baller, my friend. Now, to become a legend, it requires a lot of hard work, tons of preparation, a little peanut butter, and some rubber bands. Are you confused? Well, I am too. But here to explain his secret to success, the one and only KG.
Did I have any rituals? I actually did. Every game day, every game day that I can think of, every game that I've ever played in, professionally and in an organized sense, I've always had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich before I played. And the reason was for that was because after school I would be so hungry, and a lot of our games were right after school, that I either played hungry and I played really, really aggressive. And I noticed that when I ate like a sandwich, I was in a lot more of control of myself. So I started to eat a peanut butter and jelly and just stuck with it and carried it all the way up to my NBA days and all the way up to my last day of playing. I ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on game day. And also, I used to always wear a rubber band on either hand. And the rubber band was a sense of like discipline. You know, when I did get something, or when I would mess up, or when I forgot something, or whatever it had to do with being on the court, it was kind of like a reminder of checking myself, or a little sense of being disciplined too. So I used to always wear a rubber band. That was like kind of my good luck charm for life.
Now it's time to reveal the best girls basketball players in the country. The honorees from each state are these basketball stars have put in the hours to lead their teams to championships while breaking records and raising the bar even higher. And the finalists for the Girls Basketball Player of the Year are Sonia Citron from New Rochelle, New York.
Notre Dame recruit Sonia Citron kept her team undefeated for 2 seasons, collecting 26.3 points and 11.2 rebounds per game.
Aaliyah Moore from Moore, Oklahoma.
The Longhorns landed Oklahoma's top basketball player with 6'1" forward Aaliyah Moore, who averaged 21.7 points and 11.1 rebounds.
Sanaya Rivers from Wilmington, North Carolina.
Sanaya Rivers is a scoring machine whose outrageous stats have earned this 3-time All-Stater a chance to play in the SEC next year.
And the nation's Girls Basketball Player of the Year is Sanaya Rivers of North Carolina.
Sanaya Rivers is headed south, eyes fixed on national championships and making an immediate impact for the Gamecocks. The new grad leaves as one of North Carolina's most decorated athletes ever. For 4 years, Rivers was fun to watch in every position. She had a great jump shot, could drive to the basket or shoot Steph Curry's threes. She was Wilmington's greatest show in educated-based athletic, and her jaw-dropping stats, like a whopping 36.8 points per game, only tell part of the story. A talented communicator and leader, fans watch a freshman phenom grow into the nation's best. Her final 6 games, she was clutch, scoring at least 40 points in 4 of them. And those were just the final touches on a high school basketball career, the likes of which many will never see again.
Sanaya Rivers, the Girls Basketball Player of the Year. And your honorees in boys basketball, the best players from each state. After a year of COVID restrictions limiting game time, the Ballers came out ready to dazzle fans with a revival of fast breaks, jaw-dropping dunks, and swishes that sizzled from behind the arc. And the finalists for the nation's best boys high school basketball player are, from Atlanta, Texas, Damian Collins.
Kentucky snagged 6'9" Damian Collins, a 5-star power forward who averaged 35.2 points, 14.4 rebounds, and 6.2 blocks per outing.
From Ledecky, Alabama, J.D. Davison.
5-star point guard J.D. Davison averaged 32.4 points per game and stays close to home as he prepares to make an impact in the SEC for Alabama.
And from Minneapolis, Minnesota, Chet Holmgren.
Standing 7 feet tall with phenomenal length, center Chet Holmgren is a true game changer with his rim protection and elite ball skills.
And the boys basketball player of the year is Minnesota's Chet Holmgren.
Gonzaga landed a big man from Minneapolis who can move, handle, shoot, and jump like a guard. He has proven he knows how to win after leading his high school team to 4 straight state titles. He shot 80% from the field and collected 1,500 career points. On the defensive side, his massive wingspan helped him rack up 456 blocks and earn the title as the best shot blocker in the country. Entering his junior season, Holmgren had about 30 scholarship offers and finished as the #1 recruit in the country.
Chet Holmgren, the boys basketball player of the year.
Hi, my name is Michael Prince. First, I'd like to say what an honor it has been for US Polo ASSN to have partnered with USA Today in presenting tonight's very prestigious event. I also want to congratulate all those amazing student athletes for all your accomplishments and being recognized tonight. Just a few fun facts about US Polo ASSN. First, we're a sport-inspired brand. We're actually the official brand of the United States Polo Association. We have stores all over the world in 180 countries. We have millions of social media followers. But most importantly, we are inspired by athletes and inspired by sport, just as yourselves. So thanks for the inspiration. Congratulations again on tonight's awards. And with that being said, I'd like to hand it off to Stuart Armstrong, Chairman of the United States Polo Association. Thank you.
Thanks, Michael. The United States Polo Association is thrilled for the opportunity to showcase polo for the very first time at the USA Today High School Awards program. We'd like to congratulate these outstanding young athletes, and we commend them for their hard work and dedication to their sport. But most of all, we hope that whatever sport they participate in, whether it's polo, baseball, basketball, or any other sport, that the competition inspires them to be the best, to be the very best, and that they take this same dedication and resolve and they apply it to all their goals and dreams. For this, we wish them the best of luck. Thank you.
Marco!
No, it's Gronk.
No, you're supposed to say polo.
Why would I say polo?
Because it's time for the Polo Awards. And you know, polo is actually very cool. Some people don't realize it is played in high school and is one of the rare sports not divided into teams based on gender. Everyone's playing on the same team on literally the same playing field. It is the only one that involves a living, breathing piece of equipment that weighs around 1,000 pounds.
Very cool. Well then, grab your mallet and pony and let's saddle up for some exciting chukkers. That's what they call periods, with the best of the best from polo.
The awards in polo, presented by the U.S. Polo ASSN and the national honorees for Girls Polo Player of the Year. These ringers can hold their own and their ponies in an arena with the other ladies or ride alongside some of the most competitive men in the world. And the finalists for the nation's best high school girls polo player are Hope Ariano from Wellington, Florida.
At 14, Hope Ariano became the youngest girl ever to win the U.S. Women's Open.
Sophie Grant from Phoenix, Maryland.
Sophie Grant competes in Maryland, South Carolina, California, and Florida, and is a 4-time winner of the Girls National Interscholastic Arena Championship.
And Summer Neese from Aiken, South Carolina.
Summer Neese was part of a team that claimed the 2021 USPA Interscholastic Girls High School National Championship and winner of the USPA Horsemanship Award.
And the nation's Girls Polo Player of the Year is Hope Ariano from Wellington, Florida.
Hope Ariano was taking the game of polo by storm, traveling all around the country, competing in low, medium, and high goal tournaments in both mixed and women's competitions. As one of the most active players in American polo, her commitment has shown in her championship titles. At 14, she snagged the crown at the U.S. Women's Open, and a year later won the Junior Westchester Cup for the United States and England. At 17, she's become the highest-rated American women's player and recently won the Texas Women's Open.
Hope Ariano, your Girls Polo Player of the Year. And now for the guys. The honorees for the best high school boys polo player in the country are. These rising stars are raising their goal ratings and are already making their mark on the world of American polo. And the finalists for the nation's best high school boys polo player are Lucas Escobar from Wellington, Florida.
Lucas Escobar was a finalist for the Gold Cup in the 2021 Gauntlet of Polo at the International Polo Club, the highest level played in the U.S.
Winston Painter from Reading, Connecticut.
Winston Painter is an Interscholastic National Championship All-Star and a member of the 2021 championship team.
And Mackenzie Wise from Wellington, Florida.
Rated as a 4-goaler, Mackenzie Wise is a key player on the team that won the 2020 prestigious C.V. Whitney Cup.
And the Boys Polo Player of the Year is Mackenzie Wise of Florida.
Florida's Mackenzie Wise grew up around horses alongside his polo-playing father, Andrew Wise. Now rated as a 4-goaler, he has grown from a young child riding horses to one of the biggest rising stars of American polo. Wise made his debut in England this past season, playing for Monterosso, where he reached the Wales Trophy final. After high school, he will continue competing internationally and hopes to be a 10-goaler competing in the Argentine Open.
Mackenzie Wise, the Boys Polo Player of the Year.
There is something about making the varsity team in high school that says, you've arrived. Most of us have to put in the time on JV for a couple of years before we get our shot. But sometimes a kid comes in ready to kick butt and take names as a freshman. Other times a student picks up a new sport in high school and their talents cannot be denied. Well, we thought we needed a special award for these exceptional exceptions. And we thought Rising Star of the Year summed them up perfectly.
Here are the finalists for the Rising Star of the Year. Addison Fisher, a freshman softball player for Bend High School out of Bend, Oregon.
Addison Fisher completed a 9-0 record with a razor-thin 0.25 ERA and a whopping 127 strikeouts, along with 4 no-hitters and 2 perfect games this past season.
Labius Overton, a 2-sport standout from Milton High School out of Alpharetta, Georgia.
Sophomore Labius Overton is a basketball and football star who currently occupies the class of 2023's #1 spot after dominating the defense on the gridiron.
And freshman Sammy Smith, a multi-sport standout for Boise High School out of Boise, Idaho.
Sammy Smith is a 4-sport phenom who competed nationally in soccer and skiing and has already helped Boise High School to multiple state titles, with individual wins in track and cross country and a team state runner-up finish in soccer.
And the Rising Star of the Year goes to Georgia's Labius Overton.
Widely considered the top football recruit for 2023, Labius Overton, known by many as LT, had a whopping 40 sacks during his first 2 seasons as a defensive lineman at Milton High School. The 6'4" stalwart has also shown shades of future NFL Hall of Famer Julius Peppers, who starred on both the football field and basketball court, averaging 12 points and 12 rebounds a game on the hardwood last season. LT has already received offers from Ohio State, North Carolina, and Stanford to play both sports. But the football field is where he has really made his mark, with 70 tackles and 21.5 sacks last season. With a massive frame for a sophomore in high school and athleticism well beyond his years, LT led the Eagles to an 11-1 season and a playoff run, and has more than 25 scholarship offers for just football.
Labius Overton, the Rising Star of the Year.
Logistics Plus, or LP for short, is a leading worldwide provider of ground, ocean, air, and rail freight transportation, warehousing and fulfillment, project cargo and break bulk, business intelligence and technology, and total supply chain solutions. Logistics is in our DNA. This is what we do. Let us do it for you too. Please visit logisticsplus.com to learn more about Logistics Plus.
All right, Charly, DJ Khaled coming back at you from the Kohl's red carpet. And can I just say, tonight has been an absolute blast. I'm
Beautiful.
having a great time.
Yes. Matter of fact, it's incredible. And I love to get inspired. I'm saying the young world is everything.
Everything.
It's about the young world.
All right, so you ready to hear some more great stories?
Absolutely.
Because this young lady right here, her name is Jenna, and she is absolutely dominating on the soccer field in Indiana, which, by the way, is my home state. I'm an Indianapolis girl, so we love to see it. And now she's headed off to Michigan on a D1 scholarship. So Jenna, first of all, congratulations. This is amazing. Big props to you. What made you pick the Wolverines? Go Big Ten, by the way.
Yeah, so ultimately I picked Michigan because I wanted to go to a program where it checked every box that I was looking for during the recruiting process. And I also wanted to go somewhere that if soccer was out of the picture, that I could wake up and enjoy the environment and campus I was on. So that's kind of why I chose that university.
Okay. Did you get to have like some meals on campus? Because you know, food it's a big part of an athlete's life.
I haven't. So I went to a camp there. but we haven't done our official visit yet.
Okay.
But I will be going back in the summer.
All right. Well, best of luck to you. I actually have never been to Michigan, but I hear it's great. And of course, the athletics there, second to none. So congratulations, Jenna.
And you know I got to hear from a baller, ranked first in the state and from a city known from producing amazing players. # King James from, help me with this word, please.
Akron,
Ohio.
There you go.
Shout out to King James, but shout out to Chris, I want to say this right, Chris
Livingston.
Chris Livingston.
He is living
by
the
the
dream.
By the way, thank you for helping me out.
Always,
with these words.
always.
You know what I'm saying? We doing it big. DJ Khaled knows about how hard it is and how you have to fight to stay on top. I know all about that. So let's keep the fight going in you. And, you know, fighting, you know, for something that's great and for blessings, what keeps you going?
What keeps me going is my self-motivation and me wanting to be the best. You know what I'm saying? I want to be the best at everything I do. I feel as though the people that surround me, that push me, the situation I'm in, really keep me self-motivated. The work that I put in will never stop.
Well, number one in Ohio. He's made it to the top.
Incredible.
And, you know, we talked about this. It's tough to get to the top, but once you're at the top, it's even tougher to stay there. What do you have to say to that?
I mean, I definitely can relate. You know what I'm saying? You know, I know climbing that mountain is you know, a mission, you know, to get to the top. But when you get on top, for me personally, it gets harder. But it's also more inspiring because you know how it feels to get some of that victory. And when you get that victory, you want to keep going and be legendary. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I'm sure you want to be legend. You're legendary now, but, you know, let's talk about King James for a second.
Yeah.
You know, the consistency is a key. You know what I'm saying? And I'm seeing that in you. How do you feel about consistency?
Oh, yeah, for sure. When you're at the top, you always got to prove yourself every time, whatever your chemistry is. Every time I step on the court, I always got to prove myself. Whether somebody seeing me for the first time, they're continuously seeing me thrive and thrive. So, you know, I just got to keep doing what I'm doing. You always got to stay consistent.
That's right.
Does LeBron know you're coming for that top spot?
I think it's enough room for the both of us. So I think we're just going to both keep putting on for the city, you know?
That's right. That's what it's about, you know what I'm saying? Putting on for your city and being great. And, you know, like LeBron and this young brother right here is inspiration for all of us.
Absolutely. No, we love that. What a winner right there.
Man, what a winner. Shout out to Chris and all the crew, sports, you know, the whole team and the dream makers. But it's in your heart and in your heart determines how far you want to go. You got to want this. You got to be able to do this.
Passion.
Yeah, it's all passion. And that's what it's about when it's coming to winning.
Yeah, and I mean, look, they're starting at such a young age, already doing such big things. So really, the sky's the limit. You know, you just gotta dream to believe and.
Oh no,
go
you got
from there.
you got to keep going.
Yeah, go
Y'all
from
are just
there.
getting started, and y'all doing a beautiful job. Just keep going hard, keep inspiring everybody, and we love that.
Yeah, you're all incredible. Best of luck to each and every
That's
one
right.
of you.
That's
awesome.
right.
We love it. We love it.
Now let's get back to it. Handing out the hardware, which is my favorite part.
Oh, well, I see that little bling around your neck.
I mean, it's a little light work today.
Okay, all right. I respect it. I respect it.
I kept it simple.
Twice the fun in 21, the Centennial class of 2020 with 20 new Hall of Famers, and now the class of 2021, one of the greatest ever. Enshrinement tickets are on sale at profootballhof.com/tickets. You're coming to Canton, they are too.
I'll see you in Canton with the class of 2021.
I'll see you in Canton for Twice the Fun in 21. See you in Canton for Twice the Fun in 21.
So we've come to the sport that Gronk and I could talk about for days, if not weeks, football.
Football most definitely helps shape the direction of our lives. I mean, without football, I don't think either of us would be standing on this stage right now.
You know what, that is so true. And so in order to not show our bias in a show dedicated to all sports, we're gonna calmly say that we will hear from legendary quarterback Aaron Rodgers before handing out our football awards. Isn't that right, Gronk?
I love you, football!
See, I knew you couldn't do it. I knew it.
Sorry, man. It just slipped out.
talent will always be found. It doesn't matter where you play or where you're from. When you have talent, people will find you. And it's a lot easier in today with so many outlets to get your highlights out there or get your name out there. But there's always there's no replacing that talent, and somebody's going to find you at some point. So just be patient. It doesn't matter where you go to school eventually either. I went to junior college. There's a lot of NFL guys that went to junior college. I'm very proud of that time. It was definitely character building for me. But I've played with Division I AA guys, Division II guys, Division III guys in the NFL, guys from schools you've never ever heard of. And it didn't matter. It just mattered your talent and your work ethic. And when the opportunity presented itself, you need to be at your best.
The hardest challenge I faced in my career, my athletic career, was probably when I had MPFL repair surgery on both my knees. I was in college after my freshman year. I had a repair on my right knee. It took about 4 to 6 months to recover. And then as soon as I came back, my left one actually tore as well, so I got surgery on that one as well. But it really taught me how much I love the game of football and how much I love the process of what it takes to be great. And I found out a lot about myself, and if it wasn't for those injuries, I really don't know if I'd be where I am today.
It's so easy to look at the game of football, and it's a game. You know, we all play sports, and they're games. You hear that a lot. And, you know, was it worth it to go back out on the field and to put myself in harm's way again? And I know that's probably a funny thing, and a lot of people doubted why I would ever want to do that again. But really, football helped me get so much of my life back, and that chasing that dream and chasing that down really has allowed and opened up so many things for the rest of my life for me to be able to go do with my kids and my family. And I'm thankful that football has provided that for me.
And now to reveal the top defensive football players in the country. The honorees from each state are from interceptions to sacks, these often underrated playmakers may sometimes get less talk time compared to their teammates on the other side of the ball. But when they hold them scoreless and lay them flat, better believe their offensive foes know all about them. And the finalists for the best defensive football player in the country are from Pinson, Alabama, JaQuincy Kool-Aid McKinstry.
JaQuincy McKinstry enrolled early at Alabama after the defensive back was named MVP of the 6A state final.
From Pinecrest, Florida, Leonard Taylor.
Miami recruit Leonard Taylor tormented the opposition this season with 5 sacks and 23 tackles for loss as an interior lineman.
And from Sammamish, Washington, JT Tuimoloau.
Defensive tackle JT Tuimoloau is a 2-time state champion who's committed to play for the Ohio State Buckeyes.
And the Defensive Football Player of the Year is Alabama's JaQuincy McKinstry.
Kool-Aid McKinstry wrapped up his high school career as the #1 ranked cornerback in the country. He wasted no time signing with Alabama after the two-sport superstar was recruited to play both basketball and football for the Tide. The versatile McKinstry certainly had fans drinking the Kool-Aid, especially when he turned on his talents at wide receiver. In the state championship game, he caught a 52-yard pass and sprinted in for a touchdown, putting Pinson ahead for good and garnering him another title as game MVP. But his year wasn't done. He earned another game MVP in the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game, where he caught 3 passes for 76 yards and came down with 2 interceptions.
JaQuincy McKinstry, the Defensive Football Player of the Year. The honorees for the best offensive football players from each state are they threw long Hail Marys, caught the ball between multiple defenders' hands, twist, turned, and sprinted for gaudy yardage as they broke records and helped their teams capture touchdowns, big wins, and ultimately championships. And the finalists for the best offensive football player in the country are Jackson Dart from Draper, Utah.
Jackson Dart led the nation in passing yards and touchdowns as Corner Canyon claimed Utah's 6A championship.
Travis Hunter from Sewanee, Georgia.
Travis Hunter is a Florida State commit and two-way player who led the nation in touchdown receptions with 24.
And Cade Klubnik from Austin, Texas.
Cade Klubnik is a top quarterback prospect for the class of 2022, leading undefeated Westlake to the Texas 6A state title.
And the Offensive Football Player of the Year is Texas native Cade Klubnik.
Cade Klubnik showed why Sports Illustrated named him the #1 quarterback for the class of 2022. The pro-style QB showed throw-on-the-run capabilities and put up some gaudy numbers, completing 68% of his passes for nearly 3,500 yards and 35 touchdowns. The Clemson commit accomplished all of this in one of the country's toughest divisions, leading Westlake to an undefeated record and the 6A state championship as the game's offensive MVP. And when he's not running the gridiron, you may find him on the track, competing in the 400 meters, long and triple jump.
Cade Klubnik, the nation's Offensive Football Player of the Year.
A big congrats to all the football honorees, finalists, and the 2 big winners. I hope to be interviewing your fans on Sundays in the near future. Now to everyone at home, one last reminder to get in on the conversation. Mom, dad, friends, show how proud you are of the superstar athlete in your world. Honorees, show off some of that cool swag you got in your gift box, or give some shout outs to your fellow honorees. Use hashtag USA Today HSSA to be a part of the conversation, and be sure to follow the USA Today High School Sports Awards to see more student-athlete highlights throughout the year. Okay, time to change gears. From stroking egos to backstrokes and ground strokes, we will be serving up our tennis honors shortly. But first, 5-time Olympic champion Katie Ledecky helps us dive into our aquatic awards.
At my first Olympics in 2012 in London, my first race was the preliminary race, and I was very nervous for that race and just felt like there were so many eyes on me just with how many people were in the stands and watching on TV and things like that. But then in my finals race, I felt really relaxed and calm, and I was just honored to make it to the finals and have that opportunity to represent Team USA. So I think in Rio in 2016, I was more prepared for that level of competition, having been to one Olympics before, having been to World Championships and other major events in between 2012 and 2016. So it's really just all about building experience and reminding yourself that you belong at that level and really feeling comfortable with the experience that you have under your belt.
It's time for the Swimming and Diving Awards. Here are your honorees for the Girls Swimming and Diving Athlete of the Year. Make some notes as you see the honorees for the Swimming and Diving Athletes of the Year, because many of these are the same names you'll see representing the U.S. in the Olympics in years to come, maybe even this year, as some of these record breakers are already claiming their spot on the worldwide stage. And the finalists for the High School Girls Swimming and Diving Athlete of the Year are, from Raleigh, North Carolina, Claire Curzan.
Rising senior Claire Curzan, a 6-time state champion, will join Team USA in Tokyo after coming in second in the 100-meter fly at trials.
From Arlington, Virginia, Tori Husk.
Tori Husk came in first and set the American women's record in the 100 fly at the U.S. Olympic trials, qualifying her for Tokyo.
And from Nashville, Tennessee, Gretchen Walsh.
Virginia commit Gretchen Walsh holds multiple state titles and nearly finished her preps career breaking her own national record in the 50 free.
And the Girls Swimming and Diving Athlete of the Year is Virginia's Tori Husk.
Tori Husk is one of 11 teenagers who will burst into prominence on the U.S. swimming team at the Olympic Games. She already broke the American record in the 100 fly twice in 1 month at the Olympic swimming trials and has the 3rd fastest time ever in that event. The Stanford commit won the 100 fly at the U.S. Open in 2019, and last season, competing against others her age, She lowered her own 100-fly national public high school record and also took the 50 free title, again breaking her own state record.
Tori Husk, the Girls Swimming and Diving Athlete of the Year. Let's swim over to the guys' side of the lane. Here are your honorees, the top high school boys swimming and diving athletes from each state. These guys are setting records, both in their state and nationally, as they look to compete at the collegiate level, but they too hope to represent the U.S. and stand on the highest level of the winner's podium. And the finalists for the nation's Boys Swimming and Diving Athlete of the Year are, from Sarasota, Florida, Liam Custer.
Liam Custer claimed 2 gold medals at the Florida State meet and hit U.S. Olympic trial qualifying times in 2 events.
From Vienna, Virginia, Anthony Grimm.
Texas signee Anthony Grimm broke state records en route to 2 state gold medals and also claimed 4 NCSA junior national titles.
And from Norman, Oklahoma, Aiden Hayes.
Aiden Hayes set a pair of national records in the 50 free and 100-yard butterfly, cruising to a state championship in both.
And the Boys Swimming and Diving Athlete of the Year is Oklahoma's Aiden Hayes.
Aiden Hayes made his mark on Oklahoma swimming and is now looking to make his mark on the world. He can safely be called the fastest 18-year-old American in the 200 and 100 flying, and will represent the U.S. in both events at the Pheno Swimming World Cup this fall. In his final year at Norman North High School, Hayes set a national preps record in the 50 free and the 100 fly, and claimed state titles in both. In all, the NC State signee owns at least 10 state records and won every state meet he competed in.
Aiden Hayes, the Boys Swimming and Diving Athlete of the Year.
What is it about a sport that first hooks our hearts? A hero, a champion, heartbreak, elation, drama, anxious silence, or a collective roar? What is the moment we turn to a parent or teacher and say,
I want to do that?
I've been told so many times I'm so competitive, as if it's a minus. For women, sometimes that's considered a minus. For men, it's always a plus. But I always took it as a badge of honor. And what kept me going always was the desire to be the best that I can. I was always learning something in tennis. I knew I didn't know it all. I knew a lot, but I still didn't know it all. And I just wanted to see how well can I play this game.
The moment that I really was able to exhale and know that I was making a difference was actually when my company Together launched. It's a media company that only recently launched a couple of months ago, and it gives platforms to women in sport to tell their stories and show the success that these amazing girls and women have in all of their respective sports. I feel like women are so underappreciated, undervalued, we're underestimated every single day, undercovered in media, and creating this company as an idea and it being launched 5 years after that initial idea, I think was just a huge step for me to know that, I'm making my mark much bigger and in a much grander way than stepping on the soccer field.
In the world of women's professional sports, we've come a long way. And I'm sitting here as somebody who's been in the WNBA, been a professional for close to 20 years. And when I think of day one to now, it's really been the players that have been the ones to speak up. Of course, we have support. Of course, we have, our league to back us and our ownership groups and coaching and things like that. But it stems from the players. And I think what happens is, as a player, especially when you're young, you're used to having these authority figures around you. usually in the shape of like a coach, right? And you're used to just having them do the work and listening to their rules and following those rules, which is a good thing. You should be coachable as an athlete. But I think what you start to realize as you get older, what I started to realize was all the knowledge and the experience I was gaining from being an athlete, from, being in the trenches during a game, or just my life, just experiencing life as a female athlete. There was knowledge there that a coach wouldn't have. There was experience there that an ownership group or the WNBA itself, the league, wouldn't have. And with that, this knowledge, there was this whole other set of power that I had as a player. There was this whole other value to my voice. And that goes across the board to all the players in our league and really every female professional athlete. And once we started using that voice, the platform got bigger. People started taking note of these things. The change started to happen. And now what you're seeing is not only are we creating change for ourselves, we're able to lend that voice to other people as well.
Let's move on to our next set of awards.
And now for tennis, presented by Wilson Sporting Goods. Here are your honorees, the best high school girls tennis players from each state. Tennis coaches and participants were thankful to be back on the court, getting their chance to prove their mettle after play had been reduced due to COVID-19 restrictions. While many still saw fewer tournaments, these honorees made sure they came to play when they had the opportunity. And the finalists for the best high school girls tennis player are Carrie Beckman from Louisville, Kentucky.
Carrie Beckman won the Kentucky State singles title every year of her preps career and will take her talents to Notre Dame.
Gavriella Smith from New Orleans, Louisiana.
Penn recruit Gavriella Smith soared to her 5th consecutive individual state title this past season, a trend she started in 7th grade.
And Clara Whitaker from Wichita, Kansas.
Clara Whitaker capped a 31-0 season by becoming the 4th girl in Kansas history to capture 4 straight state singles tennis championships.
And the nation's girls tennis player of the year is Carrie Beckman from Louisville, Kentucky.
COVID was the only thing that could stop Carrie Beckman. On the court, all she does is win. After winning back-to-back singles state titles and helping Sacred Heart capture the team championship, Beckman was the only Kentuckian selected for the 2019 USTA Intersectionals. She was also chosen to play in the National Clay Court Tennis Tournament, where she made it to the championship game in a 128-player draw. While she had to skip tournament play in 2020 due to COVID, the Notre Dame commit picked up right where she left off her senior year and grabbed her 3rd straight singles title.
Carrie Beckman, the girls tennis player of the year. Heading over to the guys' side of the net, here are your honorees for the boys high school tennis player of the year. These young men chose to strengthen their game, elevate their recruiting status, and challenge fierce opponents while supporting their high school teams. In doing so, many not only claimed individual championships, but helped their schools claim team titles along the way. And the finalists for the boys tennis player of the year are William Cooksey from Grosse Pointe Woods, Michigan.
William Cooksey became just the 5th Michigan Preps tennis player ever to win 4 consecutive state titles.
Sammy Ozor from Port Orange, Florida.
In Sammy Ozor's first year of high school tennis competition, he won an individual state title, a first for his school.
And Baylor Sy from Nashville, Tennessee.
Baylor Sy will compete for the University of Pennsylvania after claiming his 2nd straight individual state championship title.
And the nation's boys tennis player of the year is Tennessee's Baylor Sy.
Baylor Sy proved that he could handle the pressure when he was in danger of losing just his 2nd dual match meeting of his career at the state championship tournament in the spring. After losing his first set of a singles match, he rallied in the 2nd and tiebreaker rounds to remain unbeaten for the season. His preps career has demonstrated the nation's #1 ranked tennis player's steely nerves. As a sophomore, he finished as 2nd and then went on to claim the state title as a junior and had no plans of giving it up.
Baylor Tsai, the Boys Tennis Player of the Year.
Bye. This will be our years, a long time to come. And I won't forget the way you said, darling, I love you. You gave me faith. You go. Now we're there.
Have a great first day, Dad.
The kids we've met tonight have done some pretty amazing things on the field, but for so many of them, they do even more incredible things off of it.
The I Am Sport Award recognizes student athletes who have taken a leadership role in their communities, volunteering their time to improve the lives of others. Here to highlight athletics, service, and the impact it can have, we have the truly amazing athlete and mental health advocate, Amani McGee-Stafford.
Amani was the 10th overall pick in the 2016 WNBA draft, but when she was still a student at the University of Texas, she bravely shared her very personal story. From the ages of 8 to 12, Amani was abused by a relative. That trauma led her to attempt to take her own life 3 times. She found a way out of her dark place through poetry. Writing and reading the work of others, she found she was not alone. That led her to seek counseling, which in turn helped change the course of her life.
Recently, Amani stepped away from professional sports to pursue a law degree, but nothing has stopped her from speaking up to fight the stigma long associated with asking for mental health services.
Her bravery has helped so many people she's never met, much like the nominees of the I Am Sport Award, who share her passion for helping others. And joining us now, in her own words, Amani McGee-Stafford.
If you're like me, sports were the first family you could choose, community you could build. It was the first home you knew that wasn't confined to 4 walls or a person. It was freedom. It was safety. It was growth. Some people will never know what it feels like when that buzzer goes off, when your blood starts rushing, the butterflies in your gut, and we search for that, yearn for the competition, and sometimes the recognition too. But the pinnacle was when you realized you were so much more than an athlete, that your voice mattered in and out of the game, your presence bigger than you could have ever imagined. A silly game brought you here, but your dedication to things and people bigger than this game, bigger than you, has kept you here. So here's the sports. For saving us before we knew we were lost, for teaching us the power we hold, and lastly, here's to you. Not all superheroes wear capes, but they probably all wore a jersey.
And the recipient of the Kohl's I Am Sport Award goes to Colin Bolden of Streetsboro, Ohio.
Colin Bolden's battle with depression began as a freshman. Now the Streetsboro graduate is determined to take that fight into the open and help inspire other student athletes. Bolden's battle with depression began at an unexpected time, as the freshman starting quarterback for the Streetsboro football team. One might think he would have been overjoyed, starting under center at so young an age. Instead, Bolden said it took a toll on him mentally. When he started feeling down, he was confused and scared. None of it made sense, especially when his life was going so well. For a while, he was able to shake it off, but his sophomore year, it became even more serious, to the point that he had to step away from the football team. The sophomore began talking to his coaches about it. He began seeing a therapist. Before long, he decided he wanted to help others like him and set his sights on raising public awareness around mental health issues. In the spring, he went on a podcast to talk about his experience, which was scary for him and for his family. They were nervous about the stigma that would be attached to him. But Colin was determined, and the feedback was immediate and gratifying. Perhaps the most meaningful came in a text from a baseball friend who thanked him and told him that he too was battling similar issues. Bolden very easily could have attempted to leave those issues behind. He could have left that side of his life a secret while he pursued 3 sports. He could have focused solely on football as well as basketball, in which he became known as a top-notch defender, and baseball, in which he shattered a number of pitching records for the Rockets as a senior. He could have focused exclusively on his upcoming collegiate baseball career at Capital University. But Bolden was determined to make an impact beyond the field. and says he plans to continue those efforts not only in college, but throughout his life.
Colin Bolden, the 2021 Kohl's I Am Sport Award winner.
We've come to the first of the big three awards, Female Athlete of the Year. This award doesn't focus on a single sport, but all of them. Just to be named a finalist, you have to have already won an award in your chosen sport. So it is pretty exclusive company. But before we get to it, let's hear from one pro who has been one of the top female athletes in the country for several years, the WNBA's all-time assist leader, Sue Bird.
A lot of times, female athletes have just been, whether we were told or it was just kind of assumed, we should just be thankful for what we have, right? Be thankful that you can even play. Don't demand more, just be thankful. And luckily, to be honest, what I see in the younger generation, they don't have that mentality. I can honestly say at 21, 22, I felt that, and so I just didn't say anything. Okay, I should just be thankful for this. And so the good news is these younger generations, they're already doing this work. They're already pushing the envelope. They're already changing conversations, changing narratives. That's the good thing. So I would just encourage people to continue to do that. I think another big part of changing the landscape of women's sports and girls in sport as well is the media coverage. We need more media coverage. The more we're seen, the more little girls can strive to be like us, the more it'll change how little boys view women. I think all of that, it all plays into the media coverage, and it's all about changing the narrative. Because a lot of times, and this is one of my own personal missions, a lot of times, you know, when you're growing up as a little girl, you're told, sports is really good for you. It's gonna help you develop, you know, leadership skills, you're gonna learn how to work with others, and you're gonna do great with these things in life. And that is 100% true. And the same for little boys, 100% true. The things I've learned in sport have without a doubt, helped shape who I am as a person, having nothing to do with basketball. I will take those things with me for the rest of my life. But we also tell little boys that they can make a career of this if they're good enough. And we don't really encourage little girls, we don't really encourage high school girls, we don't really even encourage college athletes who are women to make careers out of their sport if they see fit. And that's definitely something that I think can change with more media coverage to get our livelihoods out there.
It's time to present the Female Athlete of the Year. The finalists are Tori Husk, a record-breaking swimmer from Yorktown High School in Arlington, Virginia.
Tori Husk is one of just 11 teenagers who earned the opportunity to swim for the U.S. in the Olympics. She's already dominant in the 100 butterfly, having set the American world's record in the event at the U.S. Olympic trials.
Sanaya Rivers, a two-sport star in basketball and track and field from Eugene Ashley High School in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Sanaya Rivers was a force on the basketball court this season as the South Carolina recruit averaged nearly 37 points per game. She also shined on the track as one of the best high school jumpers in the state.
And Peyton Verhulst, a girls basketball and volleyball star out of Bishop Miege High School in Roland Park, Kansas.
Peyton Verhulst is not only a top 10 basketball prospect in the country, but also a beast on the volleyball court. The Louisville recruit led her basketball team to a state title and was named Kansas's Volleyball Player of the Year.
And the title of Female Athlete of the Year goes to Kansas native Peyton Verhulst.
Whether she was on the volleyball or basketball court, Peyton Verhulst ruled. In the fall, Verhulst was one of the best volleyball players in the state and earned the title of Class 4A Player of the Year after leading her team to a state championship. But where she truly shined was on the basketball court. The guard, who will be playing in college at Louisville, averaged nearly 20 points and 8 rebounds per game and was a top 10 recruit in the country. During her career, she was a 3-time All-State selection and a McDonald's High School All-American. She was the captain of the USA Basketball U16 national team and earned MVP of the team's 2019 FIBA American Cup Championship.
Peyton Verhulst, the USA Today High School Female Athlete of the Year.
So to earn the title as the top male athlete in the entire country, that's pretty legit.
So legit. I bet he's a legend at his school. King among kings.
Well, you know, how about we take it down a notch before we crown him king of the world? But first, I think we should hear a few words of humbling advice from a man who has been legendary for decades, the one and only Shaquille O'Neal.
For any high school student that's going through something, here is the Shaquille O'Neal advice. First, if you have a problem, why worry about the problem? Just worry about the solution. Rule number 2, there will be doubters that say you can and cannot. What you gonna do about it? You gonna believe them? Or you gonna be the best athlete you know you can be and prove them wrong? So you could take criticism as motivation, or you could let it hurt you. And lastly, education is more important than anything. You have to know that not everyone will be a professional volleyball player. Not everyone will be a professional baseball player or basketball player. You have to know that. And if you know that, that right there should make you want to work harder.
And now for the Male Athlete of the Year. The finalists for Male Athlete of the Year are Chet Holmgren, a basketball legend for Minnehaha Academy in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
The Gonzaga-bound 7-footer led his team to a 102-10 record and 4 state championships. The McDonald's All-American also played on the gold medal-winning 2021 U.S. Under-19 World Cup team.
JaQuincy Kool-Aid McKinstry, a 2-sport star from Pinson Valley High School in Pinson, Alabama.
5-star recruit JaQuincy McKinstry dazzled fans in the fall on the football field as a cornerback and wide receiver, and then in the spring showed off again on the basketball court. He will continue playing both sports for Alabama.
And Colson Montgomery, a baseball and basketball standout from Southridge High School in Huntingtonburg, Indiana.
Colson Montgomery, the left-handed hitting shortstop, was the first-round pick of the Chicago White Sox in the 2021 MLB Draft. He is also the all-time leading scorer for the Southridge High boys basketball team, with nearly 2,000 career points.
And the award for Male Athlete of the Year goes to JaQuincy Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Long before JaQuincy McKinstry was a coveted 5-star, 2A football standout at Pinson Valley High School, he had been tagged with his name brand nickname. JaQuincy's grandmother saw a smiling face on her new grandson at birth and dubbed him Kool-Aid. The Alabama-bound cornerback played at wide receiver and cornerback for Pinson Valley, which won 3 state championships in Kool-Aid's 4 seasons. He also averaged 14 points per game for Pinson's 2019 boys basketball team, which claimed the program's lone state championship. In his final high school football season, McKinstry caught 45 passes for 706 yards on offense while grabbing 2 interceptions on defense, particularly impressive because opposing quarterbacks rarely threw his way. An early enrollee for the Crimson Tide, McKinstry practiced with Alabama's basketball team until spring football began in Tuscaloosa, and then gave the Bama fans a taste of what was to come when he picked off a pass in the 2020 Tide spring football game.
Kool-Aid McKinstry, the Male Athlete of the Year.
It's time to present our Team of the Year award. Usually, we do some big and elaborate presentations here, but Gronk asked if he could handle the intro duties. So Gronk, take it away.
Thank you, Michael. If you are watching this show, then you know how awesome it is to be a part of a team. And even though that awesomeness continues all the way to the professional level, there is something truly special about your high school team. So in honor of that, I just want to say, what? What are you doing, Michael?
Who, me? Nothing. You're doing great. Keep going.
Okay. As I was saying, there is something truly special about your high school team. So special, in fact, that we decided that, dude, what are you wearing, a coyote head?
It's a husky, Gronk. That's right. And I'm wearing it because it is time for the Best Team Award. And of course, the best team is my alma mater. Woof, woof. Go Huskies! Plus, you're inspiring me with your speech, so please continue for the kids.
Yeah, right. Yeah, for the kids. Okay, whatever you say. But where was I? Oh, yeah. Awesomeness of high school teams. They are totally awesome, and they stay with you even after you move on to college and pros. And Michael, I can't do this. I can't finish my line. Your outfit is just so ridiculous.
I thought we... Never mind.
Mike, the tail though. That's a nice touch. I like it.
The finalists for the USA Today High School Sports Team of the Year are the Brentwood High School Volleyball Team from Brentwood, Tennessee.
The Lady Bruins won a record 8th consecutive Class 3A state title less than a month after their legendary head coach suffered a stroke.
The Lander Valley High School Boys Swimming and Diving Team from Lander, Wyoming.
The Tigers won 9 of 12 events at Wyoming's Class 3A state championship meet to cap a quarter century of dominance, capturing the program's 25th consecutive team title.
And the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School Baseball Team from Parkland, Florida.
The Eagles went 28-2, the most wins in the school's history, and captured the state championship, showing resilience and overcoming tragedy as a team. The roster included several students who had been on campus when a shooter killed 17 students, teachers, and staff in 2018.
And the National Team of the Year is the Brentwood High School Volleyball Team.
Led by legendary coach Barbara Campbell and Alabama-bound hitter Shea Eggleston, the Brentwood High School Volleyball Team was charging toward a record 8th consecutive Tennessee Class 3A championship when a health scare rocked the program to its core. Campbell, a top 3 all-time winningest volleyball coach in the nation, suffered a stroke in late September, about a week before the state playoffs. She was hospitalized and away from the team as it rallied through the final 10 matches of a 38-3 season to get back to the 3A state game. Campbell attended the state final in person, taking her customary seat at the end of the bench. Inspired and fueled by the presence of their coach, the Lady Bruins played near-perfect volleyball in a 3-set sweep of Siegel that extended Brentwood's dynasty. It also marked the end of an era, as Campbell, citing health problems, stepped down in April at the age of 70 after 33 years as Brentwood's head coach.
The Brentwood High School Volleyball Team, the nation's Team of the Year.
You guys, that's a wrap. Gronk and I, we had a blast. And we want to say congrats to all the honorees and winners out there. Y'all totally blew us away.
And a big thank you to all you parents, guardians, teachers, and role models out there. You guys are helping make some amazing young adults and preparing them for the road ahead.
We hope to see more of your stories, wins, and record-breaking feats over the next year and at the 2022 USA Today High School Sports Awards Show.
That's it. Congrats to you all. Are we done yet? Can we play?
We can play. Go ahead.
Oh! Amazing catch, Michael! Wow,
Thank you for watching the USA Today High School Sports Awards, brought to you by US Polo ASSN, with additional support from Kohl's, Wilson Sporting Goods, the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and Refill. For more information and to hear more stories of our athletes across the country, visit sportsawards.usatoday.com.